Let's get serious. Habaki!
What is going on, everybody? Natsu Lover XOX here, and welcome to a nice little video I'm going to make today. Got a Call of Duty video for you. It is a B-23R gameplay on the map Drone. Again, I've got my usual long barrel and extended mags on it. It's got dragon scales on it, and I think I do pretty well in this gameplay. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is an interesting thing. It's kind of a follow-up to the last video I put up just recently, which was about good games versus bad games, and what makes a good game or what makes a bad game. And this is the fact that, in my opinion at least, and I'll tell you why, the majority of games that can be good or bad are good or bad based upon how realistic they are, and the fact that realism doesn't necessarily make a game great. If we go off of the fact that what we said, and I think in order to really understand this, you should probably watch my last video I put up. The link's in the description and the annotations on screen at the end of the video if you want to skip ahead to the end of the video and watch it. The idea that realistic games make great games is quite folly if you think about what I was talking about before, where the main focus of why a game is good or why a game is made great is because of the fact that it's a good gameplay game and not necessarily other things. Realism doesn't necessarily make a game. Now, we've also gone over, I'll probably link this video in the description as well, my views on reality, where I don't necessarily view, and I'll try to keep this out of it as much as I can, but I don't necessarily view the difference between the gaming world and the real world, quote unquote, as a different thing. I believe they're the same. Who you are here is who you are there. The reality is relative, but we'll not get into that. If you want to talk more on that, I'll put a link in the description. Point is that when it comes to making video games as real to our quote-unquote real life as we can, we sometimes forget that that's not exactly the point of gaming. The point of gaming is to have an entertaining good time and to have a fun, shall we say, escape from our quote-unquote right now reality, quote-unquote. I like saying quote-unquote, it's a really good thing. And if we take that mindset and look at the fact that we are in fact trying to escape from reality when it comes to games, quote-unquote reality. I'll just stop saying quote-unquote reality and assume you know what I'm talking about, because you know my views on reality. But if we can assume that we're trying to escape from reality when it comes to video games, why are we trying to make video games as real as possible? And I guess that boils down to, what are you playing games for? I have a friend who said multiple times that he plays video games to do shit he can't do in the real world. Such as race cars. He plays a lot of Forza Motorsport. He plays a lot of sports games. And he plays Forza Motorsport, he plays indie racing games, he plays shit because he knows that he'll never be able to actually experience that in the real world. So he wants it to be as realistic as he can. And I understand that perspective to a point. I understand, you know, I want to get this simulation experience of what it's like to be in a war. I want to get this simulation of experience of what it's like to be in a gang, hence GTA. I want a simulation experience of what it's like to be in a car, or a boat, or a plane. I want a simulation experience of X, Y, Z thing. But keep in mind that that's not a game then. It's a simulation. There's a very big difference between a simulation and a game when you're making these kinds of things. If you want to play a video game on a video game console with video game people online, you should assume that it's not going to be realistic, and you shouldn't strive for that. And I think Call of Duty in recent times has done better at doing that. They've done better at not striving for realism. They've done better at striving for, hey, we're going to make a cartoony shooter, but, you know, that's what it is. And take it for what it is. It's not realistic. It's not real. I mean, look at the camo I have on my gun, for God's sakes. it's not trying to be realistic, and I think that's the point. I think that's what you need to do if you're going to make a video game that's solely for a video game purpose. Is if you want to make something that's fun, mainly fun, you focus on making the gameplay smooth, you focus on making the gameplay fun, you focus on making the gameplay easy, and you don't overload on making it realistic. Because if you do that, then you just made a simulator. And simulators, to me personally, are not fun. A lot of people, they are, but when I look at fun, not fun, real, not real, I'm gravitating towards the not real. In most situations, GTA Saints Row, I choose Saints Row. Call of Duty Battlefield, I choose Call of Duty. Forza Motorsport, Need for Speed, in recent years it's been Forza, but I would gravitate towards the older Need for Speed games over any Forza Motorsport that they made today. Anything realistic versus non-realistic, I'll choose the non-realistic option 9 times out of 10 because it's a game. It's a game. Games are meant to be fun, not realistic. Simulators and games, very different things. Keeping that in mind, there needs to be a place for these simulator games because they are fun. Battlefield is a ton of fun. I mean, it's not a war simulator by any means. I mean, you take off in a helicopter, you crash in 2 seconds, you suicide jet into each other, you just crash into an AC-130 with a fucking jet, it doesn't matter. It's not a war simulator by any means, but if you wanted to make one, if you wanted to do the best you could, then there still needs to be a place for this. And I think balancing the two and realizing what it is, there needs to be a better job of doing that. There needs to be a better job of putting that out there. There needs to be a better understanding for new players because I'm assuming that people that are watching my videos are generally going to be hardcore gamers that know what's up, basically. So you know that Battlefield is the quote-unquote realistic shooter war simulator game, and Call of Duty's the non-realistic, non-changing arcade shooter game. You understand that. But there needs to be a better push for Call of Duty is not real, and Battlefield is more real, and Battlefield is the simulator. And there needs to be a better job with everything like that. It's more difficult when it gets into things like Saints Row and GTA, because then you're like, yeah, GTA is like real gangster life, and yeah, we're promoting this. But anyway, that's all I have time for. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think about this whole simulator real gaming stuff. And yeah, I hope to see you all later. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, bye-bye now.